We are live here in Hazard, Kentucky at KVAC's Digital Production Studio with a distinguished guest and educational partner, Dr. Rocky Wallace. Welcome. Thanks for being here, kind sir. And we know about all the good things that you've done over the course of your professional career. Please catch us up to date on where you've been and what you're doing now, kind sir.
Thank you, Will. It's always an honor to be here working with the folks at KVAC. We've had a long history of working with each other. I was a school principal early in my career in Lawrence County at Fallsburg, and then later in Boyd County at Catlettsburg. That's where my wife and my daughters and I lived for several years. I finished my doctorate work when I was at KEDC, the co-op in the Ashland area, and went on to Morehead State, where I'd been doing adjunct teaching in ed leadership. I'd also been at KDE as a mentor to new principals and was in the HSC program. In Morehead State, we were developing Morehead's first doctorate program in ed leadership. Both of our girls were going to Asbury University, and I had the opportunity to help them launch their ed leadership program for teachers training to be school administrators. And now I do similar work for Campbellsville University. So it's been a wonderful blessing over the years to get to over 40 years to be in education and to help build new programs, especially in ed leadership over the last several years. I live with my wife, Denise, outside Paris, Kentucky. We co-pastor a United Methodist Church in Carlisle. I mentioned our daughters, Bethany and Lauren. Lauren and her husband, Eli, are in Durango, Colorado, and Bethany and Troy and our little granddaughter, Corey Brooke, a year and a half old now, they live in Frankfurt.
Oh, wow, that's wonderful. So, despite being a state and nationally recognized educational leader, you have, for many, many years, really zeroed in on spending quality leadership time in the eastern region of Kentucky. Can you share with us a little bit about your interest and your work in our region that we serve?
Well, both in Lawrence County and Boyd County, where I was born and raised in those two counties, basically living in both of them for most of our life, and then working with Morehead State later on, and then being able to work here with KVAC for several years. When I was at Asbury, we had a wonderful ed leadership project that we partnershiped with KVAC that led to another project where we collaborated, and the work that is done on this end of the state a lot of times is unnoticed and overlooked, and it's been such a joy the last few years to be linked up more closely with KVAC and the innovative work you folks are doing. It just seems to be a natural fit to work in the region where I come from, and the core values at all three of the universities, Morehead, Asbury, and Campbellsville, three excellent schools, they all are very much focused on the Appalachian region of central and eastern Kentucky.
Now, speaking of that, talk to us a little bit about your current partnership work with the Boyle County School District. It's very innovative, and it really feeds into our conversation and why you came to visit with us today.
Very, very much so. Campbellsville's ed leadership program is new, was launched spring before last, and almost as soon as it came into being, our dean, Lisa Allen, saw the advantage of talking to school districts and collaborating in what we call grow your own models. So the first model, we have others now in the hopper, but the first model that we're presently working with in Danville, Boyle County School District. And pretty much the way that works, we work in partnership with a expert practitioner who actually works in their district, and we team teach in the development of the courses and also the development of the curriculum, because it's a very customized curriculum based on what they need in their district for their aspiring principals and aspiring school leaders. It is very innovative, something that has been tried by a few school districts in Kentucky over the years, pretty much called Grow Your Own. And as we are looking in Kentucky, as well as the rest of the country, at more micro-credentialing, it fits beautifully with that model of very practical, in-house training that the educators need, very much customized.
Fabulous. And that actually leads us nicely into our conversation about a new piece of work that Dr. Jeff Hawkins, KVEC's CEO, has commissioned us to partner on together. So we always seem to find excuses to work together, and here's another one. We'll get to spend a little bit of time over the course of the upcoming year, and I'm really excited and appreciative that you're willing to make some time to do this new piece of work, which is a very intentional focus on our special education teachers as well as those students who have IEPs. So if you will, Dr. Wallace, walk us through the three components of this new piece of work that we will be professionally reviewing and evaluating over the course of the year.
Right. Well, when Dr. Hawkins contacted me and asked me would I want to be one of the evaluators, and then he shared with me later that it was going to be with Dr. Kayatin, since we had worked together on a couple of earlier projects, and how much I respect Jeff and all of your team here, it just seemed like a natural fit and a great opportunity. And this project, as we've learned more about it and in the very beginning stages of planning it, the three parts that are down in the trenches that I'm so excited about, the teacher cohorts, that will be an integral part of it, a teacher cohort that will zero in on the needs of the students in a way that maybe can send them off to post-secondary technical training where they discover their passion while they're still in high school. I love that. And we all are moving in that direction in education in general, but this grant very specifically targets students who maybe would be so easily for them to slip through the cracks or to not really realize their full potential. So those teachers that'll be in that cohort, that'll be a huge networking piece. The second piece, the micro-credentialing, that teachers will be trained and then they can train others, very customized based on the needs in their district, the needs of their students. And then the third piece, this innovative grant piece for students to create, to invent, to show their projects as they're getting ready for post-secondary, wherever that might be. So it's exciting to think about and talk about students' lives directly being impacted. This grant will do that.
Indeed, because we well know as educators that some of our students, particularly those special needs students, may not have a forum to showcase their true talent and ability.
Exactly.
And through this new, very intentional piece of work, they will have a vehicle in collaboration with their classroom special education teacher to create a digital portfolio, for example, showcasing the talent that they possess that may not be captured in a paper and pencil test.
Exactly.
For example, and again, there's such a vacuum. When we talk about post-secondary education, that's not necessarily a traditional liberal arts degree, whether we're talking about hard or soft sciences, but we're talking about the vacuum that for decades has existed in the technical programs, where many of these students will find a place to showcase their talent. So it's going to be really wonderful to see the manifestation of all the talent that exists in our schools that may not ever be unveiled in any other way.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm excited. Thank you for your time and for having what, for lack of a better description, our version of great conversations here in Hazard at KVEC in our digital production studio. And that's a wrap.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Appreciate
much,
it.
sir.
You too.